The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition or give any medical or legal advice. Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give $1 or $2. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support. Your Saturday paranormal psychic and ghost hunter on Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, James Creachbaum.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great weekend. And hey, let me just say this. There's been a lot going on with these booms, these mysterious booms. They keep continuing. I don't know what's going on with it. I'd like to know your opinions on it. I mean, they're continuing from Tucson to North Carolina to Kentucky, all over. Nobody knows. There's no explanation. The government denies. Of course, they deny everything. So that's one thing that's been going on in the news, paranormal-wise, for the last week. Some people say it's the end times. Who knows? Also, there's been balls of lights in Indiana spotted. Balls of lights. They don't know what these balls of lights are. Orbs. I don't know if they're warm and fuzzy, but there's orbs been seen, and they're reported near the recent Mothman sightings. Now, I don't know if there's a connection or what that could be. Boy, who knows? I mean, that's two things in one, Mothman sightings and these orbs. Also, what's going on is in southeast Michigan, there's a large winged humanoid being that has been seen. And it's been seen throughout Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan over the last few weeks. Now, I don't know if there's an oversized owl on steroids or a real Mothman or what's going on out there, but people are actually seeing this thing. I'd love to know what you people think, or has anybody seen this themselves? Let me know. Hey, without any further ado, let me introduce my guest, Diane Wilkins, paranormal investigator, and much more. Diane, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello there, guys. My name's Diane Wilkins. I live in Tacoma, Washington. I've been a paranormal investigator for almost 46 years now. I've been doing it since I was 13. And I have my own team, Tacoma, Pierce County Paranormal. And you can find us on Facebook. And I'm a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 12. So I don't know what else to say.
Well, grandmother of 12, that's a good bit right there. So let me ask you, what in the world got a grandmother of 12 started in the paranormal? Let's start with that one.
Okay, when I was 9 years old, we moved into the house that I'm actually still living in, and I'm 59, so I've been here the majority of my life. And we moved in. I had never dealt with spirits or ghosts or anything, and I was terrified of this house. And I started seeing things and hearing people talking to me that weren't there, so none to say the least. Childhood was creepy living here. And when I was 13, one day I'd had enough, And I just stood in the middle of my living room and started yelling and screaming at them and told them I was done. And come to find out, a friend of mine started reading books from the library talking about psychic mediums and things I had never heard about before. And there was a test in there, and I almost aced it, which was terrifying when you're 13. And a friend of mine that lived about a half a block away was having issues at her house and asked me if I could come and see if I could figure out what was going on. And that was actually my first investigation and dealing with a spirit outside of my house. And it has just been ongoing ever since. And 12 years ago, I decided that other than going out with one person here or there or by myself into not really safe areas and doing things, I started a team. And I got to tell you, they are my second family. I am blessed to have every one of them.
Wow. Wow, that's a heck of a thing. So it started when you're 9, and then it continued on, and you started your own team. So when you started your team, what was your first place to investigate? Your own place, or did you residential or big buildings, or where'd you go with it from there?
Well, when I first started basically talking to people and kind of more or less advertising, word of mouth kind of thing, I decided I've never done an investigation here in my own house because I already know who's here, what's going on, and we're all fine. But we went ahead and we started out at a cemetery that I knew was active, and that to this day I still take new members there to see how they're going to react to things and help train them with equipment and different stuff like that. Well, I mean, you find a good place to go, perfect for training. So, and then we have done antique stores. Wow, that's crazy. And we do a lot of private homes. We've done businesses, theaters, I mean, just about any place you could think of over the last few years. So,
yeah, antique. I know antique places can, listen, anything can hold attachments, and antiques are well known to hold attachments, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Now, in your investigations, have you ever come across some objects that were, haunted and had to deal with those, and maybe that was the reason that people were having problems?
Very much so. One thing that sticks out in my head was actually an old team member with another team, because we do kind of network between local teams. If we're short on people or we have a really big place and we need more people, we'll all get together and go do an investigation. And one of the team members from another group had us in, and I found out he collected antique, very old coins. And there was a coin there from the 40s during the war, and it was over from Europe somewhere. And I totally picked up on what was going on and described the guy that was in the house and da-da-da-da-da, and talked to the guy and found out why he was there and so on and so forth, but things just kind of calmed down after that. And he had died with that coin in his pocket, and it was really sad. And but he's fine with everything in the house now. So, but yeah, I've come across a lot of things that were haunted, very much so.
Well, so through your investigation, you determined that it was that coin. I mean, how did you get to that point that you figured out that it was, it was the coin? I mean, was it through EVPs, or tell us about that?
No. Well, I'm also a psychic medium.
Okay.
And so I just kind of, I don't know, do whatever it is you do when you're a psychic medium, put my feelers out, was walking around the house, and I kept getting drawn to this box with these coins in it. It was a glass-covered box, and it had beautiful coins in it. And I just kept getting pulled, and I finally said, to heck with it, I'm not going to fight it. And I asked if I could open it. And, you just kind of run your hands over until you start getting picture of something. It gets clearer and clearer, and you get a feeling. And I actually picked up the whole story. I saw how he passed away, all kinds of stuff. And then we figured out who was there. And he just basically wanted his story told. And so once we talked to him, he calmed down, the house calmed down, and it seems to be fine now.
Right. In other words, he wasn't an evil spirit. He was just trying to get somebody's attention to get a message out, right? I mean, basically.
Exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. Do you ever find that a lot of times people they mistake spirits for, being evil or nasty when really they're just trying to maybe get their attention, maybe get a message across or try to say something or something like that? Have you found that in your travels?
Oh, man. Yeah, actually, I would say 90% of people that call up, they're immediately, everybody goes, oh, I have a demon. No, I've 50 to 1, you don't. And you go in and you find the spirit and you talk to him and you find out what's going on. And then I have to explain to the people, if you were a spirit surrounded by people, us the living, nobody could see you or hear you or know you were there. Not only is that, I would think, would be the loneliest feeling in the world, but you would do everything you could to get their attention.
Well, it would be very frustrating, I would think, right?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Some of them are just so thankful when you find them and you're able to talk to them and help them to cross or get a message across of why they're still there. And people forget that spirits and ghosts were people too. They have a story just like we do. And you have to treat them with respect. And you don't go in immediately assuming that they're nasty and evil. And I've told people several times, you know what? If I'd been hanging around for umpteen years, okay, nobody knew I was here, I'd be a little upset too.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. You would be desperate. You'd be desperate to get their attention, so you might push them or touch them or something, or knock something over, maybe, right?
Oh, yeah. They're like, well, why are they moving things? And I was like, you paid attention to them. You caught that they were there. They can't pick up the phone and go, hey, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, so they're doing everything that they can. But don't they know that I can't see them? I said, well, they do, but they just want to let you know they're there. And, it's so hard because you end up getting into more detail with the clients the half the time than when you do actually investigating.
Right.
Because
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say that, these people, they think they got demons. If you think, I can tell you right now, you don't. If you think,
no,
you don't. You will know. Believe me.
Oh, yeah.
There's no thinking. There's no gray area. Believe me, you will know.
Yeah. Little tiny things are moving. They're catching something. It looks like somebody moving out of the corner of their eyes, or, something's going on. And I'm like, oh, hon, no, that is not a demon. No. And well, what's the difference? Sit down. And, you talk to them. And they're looking at me like, what? I said, seriously, you have a ghost. That's all it is. Someone's passed over, and either they can't go, they can't cross, or some of them are afraid to go because of what they did when they were living. And so,
right. There's a whole plethora of reasons why somebody doesn't cross over. I mean, there just is.
Yeah.
And you mentioned some great ones. Maybe they're afraid to go to hell, or they're attached to something, or maybe some of them just don't even know they died. Yeah,
and I've come over the last umpteen years. I have completely talked to, I don't know how many people that were, their religion taught them that if they did this, or that when they're living, they're going to go to hell. So they just simply aren't going to go because they don't want to be judged. And there is I'm not even going to bring it up because it's long, but I have, a way of talking to them, and we actually pray together and the whole 9 yards, and 9 out of 10 times they cross. It's just,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. At least